So just take me back to when you first came to me. So what was your situation at that point when you got on that first call with me?
Yeah. So the when I first met with you, I was definitely at that crossroads where I was like, what do I do? Do I even carry on with this business? Like I remember having that conversation with you, like just feeling like I don't know about this anymore. I've tried so many things. I'm working so hard. And yeah, I think I just, after having that chat, just, I always believed in it, but I think it felt like I was pushing stuff uphill, like, and not getting there. And it was almost 5 years by then. So just being at that crossroad and knowing that I wanted to do it, but it's not working. I feel like I'm just working for free now. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
the situation I was at, was feeling really stuck and not knowing where to go because I honestly thought I had tried all of the things.
So what
And
were some of those things that you had tried?
while I was working, I guess I was doing a lot of things online, like just reading all the things, trying heavily on SEO. So I was working really hard on just doing blogs and random things like that. I had was with an ads agency, but I didn't understand much of it. And then they were telling me it's working, and I'm like, what's working is whatever's left over in my account, which is nothing. So, it was really confusing. And then I got my website done, spent 5,000 or whatever on a new website, thinking that would help. And yeah, it still just felt like it wasn't flowing. All of those little things, which I thought yeah, I think I just didn't understand what you really did need to focus on and felt like I never really had all the people that I had worked with. It just felt like it wasn't working. Yeah.
Yeah, and you actually had a brick and mortar store as well, right? And
Yeah.
thought that having a physical
Yes.
presence would help with the online
Yeah.
component and just help with
Yeah.
revenue and cash flow
Yeah.
in general. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how did that work out for you?
That ended up just being a whole nother kettle of fish. It was another big job to take on. It was just pretty much moving into a different area. While it definitely did help locally with more, I did find more local people for corporate stuff. I was getting more known for that. So I do think it definitely helped to spreading my name. But then it was just the amount of work and then running a store was crazy expensive. I just didn't know numbers then. I didn't really, before I went into it, I was just like, whoa, yeah, sure, let's do this. Like, I didn't really probably have a really good thought behind or plan behind anything. I just was like, yeah, I want to do that. Let's do it. And then learned pretty quickly how much that was all costing me.
Yeah. So it
So,
was like getting caught up in the romanticizing of having
yes.
that business
Yeah,
and
it
because you've
was.
got a beautiful brand,
Yeah,
and the excitement and that side of
it
it that
was.
comes with business, but
Yeah,
then the boring side that actually grows a business wasn't quite
yeah.
there. Yeah, okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about how you had hired an agency and your experience there.
So I hired that agency and I guess I just wasn't really getting told much. It was just that they were doing the ads and then you just paid for it and that was kind of it.
And this was Google Ads, right?
Google Ads
Yeah.
initially and then yeah, it just felt I had that kind of pit in my stomach after working a while with them, thinking as much as they were telling me it's going great, you just knew something was a bit off. So it was a bit scary because you are paying a lot for ads and working out why. And it was just really inconsistent. Sometimes it felt like it was doing well and then, yeah, the numbers weren't really adding. Not that I was looking probably at the right numbers, but I was just going off what was in my account at the end of the day and not being able to pay myself still. And I was doing them for a long time. So
So how did it feel not being in control like that?
I just felt overwhelmed and
Mm,
probably not confident.
yeah.
And then just keep trying. You're working hard, but then yeah, just not at the right thing, I suppose.
Were you working full time on the business?
Yeah.
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 So
When
what
I
were
had
you?
the store, it was because then that became I was managing a whole different thing as well. So then I wasn't really putting the effort probably into the online store because I was trying to do everything and it was just
Mm,
me. So yeah,
yeah.
it's
And what
doing
were your monthly sales when you came to me?
When I came to you, they were like 3,000 months, 4,000 months, five. But yeah, they were getting pretty low around some months were definitely around the 3 to 4. Then I might have like, oh, I've got a good month, $6,000 in sales. Like, but there just wasn't consistent. I didn't know how it was coming, what was happening. I just didn't, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to like be able to budget off that, especially when you've got a small family and things like that. It was, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. So when we started working together, what did we do that helped you sort of change the overwhelm that you had and that not being in control of your business?
Yeah. Definitely the planning. I never planned anything. I didn't even plan the week ahead or a day ahead, let alone planning 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So that was crazy that I
Which
had
is
the
so
time there.
common. It's so common though, because it self-perpetuates, right? We're so
Yeah,
busy doing all the busy
yeah,
work. Who's got
yeah,
time to sit down and actually plan? But that's the
yeah.
beauty of planning is it frees up the
Oh,
time
it
for you to be
does.
able to actually plan.
Yeah, because I
So
constantly think I had all of these things to do, but then I'm like, and then you wouldn't do anything. So then when we were just working on, I had all these things I wanted to on, and then you're like, okay, well, let's just choose these two. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I can do those two things like in 30 days, like made it like, oh, okay. I felt way more clear. And then just having those tasks, and then we're at the next month. It was such an exciting way to look at it. Yeah, I loved that.
yeah, amazing. And what were those two things that we focused on in the very beginning for you? So actually, let's take it back a bit. Talk me through how we decided what you should be focusing on.
Oh God, what did we do? We did my website focusing on the conversion rate because I know that was really low. I think even one point it was like 1%. So I had no idea about conversion rate as well. I just said, no, I didn't really even understand that that was, the big figure into getting those sales of getting people to the website, but then nothing happening. So
Mm,
you talked me through what that means and where all these people coming from. And then we worked on converting my website to have better flow. And I loved doing that. And I couldn't believe I thought I had this beautiful website and it was all great. And then realized, oh my gosh, I have to change so much. But I loved doing that. I really loved doing that. Yeah.
yeah, and you did. You have a beautiful website. You had a beautiful website, but beneath the surface, it wasn't
Yeah.
hitting the consumer psychology
Yeah.
parts, the user
Yeah.
experience, the
Yeah.
messaging wasn't resonating and
Yeah.
the flow. Yeah, it was definitely focusing on that for you. What I was sort of getting at before was like we looked at your numbers, right? So
Oh, yeah.
rather than you just being like, okay, let's focus on these two things, we actually dived into your numbers to find
Yeah.
out what your biggest constraint was, what you really needed to focus on, and then where that opportunity was for you.
Yeah.
And you had never really looked at your numbers in that way before,
Never.
right? Yeah.
I would look at the top Shopify thing that comes up. But other than that, I was never going into analytics. And then you took me through analytics and then we went into Google Analytics as well and just took me through that monetization and the what's happening on my website. And my mind was blown.
Yeah.
But no one had ever, I never even heard of that to go and do those things. And I was like, wow. And now that's the first thing I do every day. I go into my analytics. I love going and having a look to see all of that when it's crazy because before I was just,
That's amazing. And I love that because people find analytics really overwhelming when you say the word analytics or when
yeah,
you talk about the data. But
yeah,
clearly, you've gone from not knowing about them at all to
yeah,
loving looking at your data. Why do
yeah.
you love looking at your data?
I don't know. I just love it. I just love seeing, like, comparing from the year before, and then you can see how much you've jumped, the conversion rate. I'm always keeping an eye on that now because I understood how much that makes such a huge difference. Just my average order value, that kind of thing, because that was getting a bit low as well before I worked with you. So then I started putting things on my website, like adding little upgrades and things, and you can see that the average order rate was doing better and it was working. I was like, oh, people do want to add a bottle of wine on. I just
Yeah.
didn't think to do that. So it's gone from $120 sale to $170 sale, So
Yeah.
it's,
And what a great way to increase your revenue without having to,
yeah.
spend even more on those ads. So,
It takes like not even any longer. I'm still doing the gift app. So there's no more
yeah.
time involved. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I guess like you looking at your numbers each day means that you're getting that clarity around where you should really be focusing on your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. So what is your monthly revenue at the moment?
At the moment, I'm consistently sitting around 17 to 18,000,
Oh
which
my gosh, that's amazing.
I know. It was like crazy to think that like 6,000 was my normal on a good month. And then now yeah, that's just my normal. And then even with Mother's Day was just at the last month. And that was a $30,000 month, which was crazy.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I was like one day alone, there was like 33 orders. I was like, what? My phone was just dinging, dinging, dinging. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is nuts.
I love that for you, and
Um,
yes, the strategy and understanding your numbers and, focusing on the right things works for you, but you're an action taker as well,
yeah,
and I loved working with you about that. I love working with you on that because we would talk about a plan and we would say that you need to do this, and then you went and did it. Like you went and improved your website, you looked at the conversion rates and you actually did it.
yeah,
So you've got to be the action taker as well. You've got to show up in your business. But I think what I really loved about you as well is that you weren't showing up everywhere. Like you weren't even really on organic social media because we decided that that wasn't the right channel for you and it supports other things that you're doing. You can't completely not be on social media, but
yeah,
I think you're a true story in when you just focus on what's right for your
yeah,
business. You can move the needle. Like you
yeah,
didn't need to be everywhere.
yeah,
We even talked about doing meta ads and you were like, nope, I don't have the capacity for that. So we were like, cool, let's not do that. Let's double down on the Google ads for
yeah,
traffic
yeah,
and that conversion rate. And then we also brought in Klaviyo and retention in there as well, didn't we? So those were your two main things was conversion rate optimization and Klaviyo.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
tell me about your experience with Klaviyo.
Really cool. I love the platform. At first, it was definitely overwhelming because it was you could do so much more than the one that I was on previously when you just do an email and send it off. You just really took me through each of those steps so it wasn't overwhelm. Um,
Mm,
and now I just really enjoy using it and pre-setting up. Like I wasn't doing any of those Christmas ones before, or I might send like one email. But it's like, oh no, actually, now I will do a plan. Okay, Mother's Day is coming up. I need to start, which I was never planning ever ahead. It would just be
mm,
like, oh, I think I might do a Mother's Day campaign now. I'll go in and do it. But now I just allow, like, I keep remembering, no, going back to like, let's just make a little plan. And then now those emails just get automated, which is awesome. Yeah.
awesome. So what is the power of that planning for you? What has that actually changed?
Just my confidence and not feeling overwhelmed all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a big one when I do the planning, because there's still times I don't do it, but I still do it way more than I've ever done it in my life. And now that I do it, it's it comes up to that moment of Mother's Day, for example, and I'd already done all those emails. It's like, oh, I just am sliding through with, and it's so much more fun. And when
Mm,
prior, even though it's fun, it becomes a stressful moment for me because everything's happening at once and I'm still trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. But with having that more planning away now, I definitely just I feel like I can actually grow it more and I feel more confident in growing it. Sometimes I might still be too busy and I just go, that's okay. You know that when you do give yourself the time to plan that just
yeah.
to do it like that. So
Yeah, amazing. So there's like that mindset piece in there as well. Like you
mindset for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I can see that your confidence has grown in your business from when we first started
Yeah,
talking because, you were sort of like a little bit ashamed that you had been at
yeah,
it for 5 years and closed
yeah,
down the brick and mortar and you were still only
yeah,
doing 3 to 5 months or six
yeah,
on a good month. And, and that's really common as well. And I can just see that shift in your personality and your confidence with your business and talking about it like, yeah, I can grow this thing, you
yeah,
know? And I
yeah,
love that for
so
you. It's
different. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. And when we first started working together, you had some pretty big goals as well in terms of your personal life and what you wanted
yeah,
to achieve. One
yeah,
of them was wanting to buy a house
yeah.
because your family was just staying with your mum temporarily. Have you achieved that?
Yes! Woo! Just 2 weeks ago, I bought my first house. So,
Oh, congratulations. That's so amazing. Clearly, that
no.
was a rhetorical question because you had told me prior that I knew. But I mean, I just think that's so amazing that you set out a goal, like a
Yeah,
big goal,
yeah,
and you've achieved that. And has the growth in your business allowed you to do that?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I think most years I had just run at a loss. And then this financial year, I was like, oh my God, I made money. I was like, what the hell? My accountant was like, oh my gosh, like that business coaching must have helped you so much. And I was like, I know, we were just talking about that the other day because she was like, it's crazy to think it's not even been, well, a year, like, almost a year pretty much. And, you've done that huge goal that you set out at the beginning you wanted to. I felt
Mm,
like it was my final, like, I'm gonna do this, and if it
yeah.
doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I was getting tired, and
Yeah.
now I'm like so proud of myself, and just that I have that spark back again because I definitely was at the end of my wick. Because yeah, but I just
Yeah, it's exhausting when you're just
yeah,
constantly on the grind and not getting
yeah,
anywhere. So,
yeah,
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 I couldn't be happier for you. I think it's amazing.
yeah,
And I think it's proof that if you put in the work and you get the right support and you do focus on what you need to focus on for your business,
yeah.
there's no reason why you can't hit those financial
Oh, for
goals.
sure.
Yeah.
And just
And
the right knowledge
profitably.
as well. Yeah, and profitable and just having the right knowledge because there's so much out there, it can be overwhelming. And I just think, yeah, the right knowledge and focusing on the right things is gold. Yeah, which is what you have done for me,
Yeah.
honestly.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. And so what's the plan from here?
The plan from here is just to keep growing.
Yeah.
Keep going with the corporate side as well. I definitely have focused more on the retail aspect of the online store. And then the goals for this next year is to dive deeper into my corporate side, hopefully employ someone so that I have more time to just work on growing that. Now I'm just so excited to grow now that I know the right things to do that I can pass that part a little bit over
Yeah.
and then spend that time to keep growing, which I'm excited about. I know we've talked about it before, and yeah, that's the next goal. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I'm sure that you'll smash it. No doubt about that. What would you say to someone who's considering coaching and is in the same position that you were in a year ago?
Yeah. I would say I know it can feel overwhelming and the right people to trust, but I mean, do your research, look at the videos that are up, or, talk with a coach, have that one-on-one initial chat and see if they align with you, if it feels exciting, and that you can trust people, even if you've been burnt before, to go. Because, I mean, I just can't believe what's happened with me, and I want that for everybody.
Mm,
And it's so exciting. And trust the journey. And yeah, and listen to the coach and yeah, just do the things and get into it.
for sure. There's a lot of trust involved,
There's
right?
a lot of
Yeah.
trust involved, and I get that. But I think if you feel like you have found the right one, then commit to that trust with that
Mm,
person. And like you say, you have to show up and do it. And it's once you push past the oh my gosh, my head feels a bit overwhelmed with this new platform, say Klaviyo, for example, or GA4, like going back into that analytics. It might look scary, but if you keep going in there every week, learning a little bit at a time, it will just make sense. And now it just feels like something normal that I read. And
Yeah.
I love that I'm learning. Like I keep saying, to you, I think in our time was I was always amazed at everything you were saying. I was like, oh my God, this woman is so got so much knowledge. It was like blowing my brains. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna know all that knowledge soon. Like I'm so excited. And yeah, I did. And I'm so much more confident now.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
And what about, have you ever thought about what would have happened if you didn't go ahead with it and where you would be today?
Yeah. I would not be liking the business. I know that.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just definitely, yeah, I wouldn't, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we think about like financially as well, how
Mm,
much you've grown
mm,
and even by, $10,000 a month and that's been
yeah.
a year, right?
Mhm.
That's 120,000 in loss revenue that you wouldn't have had if you didn't make a change back then.
I know. It's
And I
crazy.
think that's so important to highlight because we often think about the investment of the coaching, which is
Yeah.
important to think about,
Yeah.
but we don't think about the cost of not taking that action and just
Yeah.
staying where we are.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
I do like I get how scary it is with people who have tried maybe a few different ones before and it hasn't worked. And some people they only have a certain amount of money. If they pay for this and it, doesn't work, they might not get that money back. So I know all of those things circle in people's mind, but gosh, it's just yeah, you'll know if you feel with that coach that you're wanting to work with and then you got to go with that feeling for the rest of it. And yeah, just be more
Yeah.
confident. Yeah.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap up?
Just thank you, Chloe. Honestly, I love you.
Oh, I
Thank you
love
for
you
being a
too.
coach. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Thanks.
appreciate all your hard work. And you really felt like made it feel like it was your own. It wasn't just, I think that's why I loved working with you and wanted to work with you because I felt really personal for you. And even just when you would message in to say, just checking in, I'd be like, yep, doing that thing now. Like, I love that because it was just like, oh, a week's gone and you get busy. I get it. But just even that little text would just be like, oh, yeah, let's get back into it. And I always enjoyed all the tasks that we did. So,
Amazing. I love working with you too. And yeah, I'm just stoked that, it's not just changed your business, but it's changed your life. Like that's a pretty big statement to make, but it has,
yeah,
right?
it has definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just financially, but yeah, confident, like with my confidence in it being excited to work now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to. So yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.